All right, guys, welcome to the Higher Level Live. We got Rachel Canning in the studio. What's up?
What's up? I'm super excited to be here.
We're glad you're here. How many families you helped last week? Like 104?
Yeah, I wish. A little bit above 10. Try to stay consistent there. But
Y'all are like every week.
Yeah. Got to set the bar,
And here's what's crazy. It just, I don't know if it's evolved and like they've changed the system at FFL. So we're not getting a breakdown yet because they're updating the system.
Yeah.
So like for the last 30 days-ish, 40, like I haven't seen them broken down like I always have.
It's kind of stressing me out a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. But you guys over the last couple months have just seemed like you turned it up a notch.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it had to do with us getting to convention, even though we were there last year.
Sure.
It was a little bit different experience this year. And this was the first time I was able to stay for the award ceremony. And I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there and I was ticked off at myself for not doing what I knew I could have done to get up there. So we definitely made that a standard that we're going to be up there no matter what, hell or high water.
I have no doubt. And I always tell, to me, that's the best part of the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have every capability of doing it. And the only person you can get mad at yourself is yourself, Right. So it's definitely a hard look in the mirror that way. But it was probably the best thing that I needed to really kind of kick it up a notch and get going.
Sure. That makes sense. I love it. And so what's your goal this year, Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. 100%.
You want that red jacket?
Oh, yeah.
That'll look good on you. 100%. So do you know, and you're tracking, like you're helping 10 families a week. You're definitely tracking.
Yeah.
What's your lead flow like?
My lead flow, honestly, I started to, because last year, first year with Family First Life, a couple years in the business now, I really relied a little bit too heavily on just the CRM leads. And they are so great. They're so fantastic. It allowed me to get to a point where I was able to become very profitable. And then this year, I really started to kind of expand, get into mailers, the final expense, mortgage, Facebook leads, I love, and then from there, really, I have no problem trying and testing out different vendors as well, really seeing what works for me and what's going to kind of help improve my business. And
you know what's crazy about that, Rachel? When you get to the point where you're at, it doesn't matter what lead you put in front of yourself.
It's a name and a number.
It's a name and I asked Rich, I said, dude, if I gave you a phone book, do you think you could set appointments? He's like, yeah. I was like, you see that right there? You can't teach that, but the time is what's giving you that confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've been doing this for 2 years, yes?
Yeah, the second year with Family First.
Second year, you've probably made, 2,500 dials at least.
Yeah.
You probably set 2,500 appointments.
Probably.
To that, you know what I mean? It's insane.
Yeah.
So you should be better.
Mm-hmm.
But people they quit. Now,
they quit too early.
They do.
Yeah.
Did you ever have those thoughts?
Oh my God. I don't think anyone here who's been here for a minute now has ever not had those thoughts, But that's why I think the people that stick around, they get through the adversities, they tweak some things, you're really able to kind of master your craft. You're able to stick around here and become very successful and then help other agents do the same thing.
And your team is moving.
Yeah, we're really excited for that.
You guys are opening an office?
Yep, down in Greenville. We're getting a little bit bigger of an office than we had previously. So we're really excited to get that up and running, get our own little podcast room going.
Right.
So yeah, we're very excited for that.
People want to hear y'all.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
No, for sure. Because listen, they want to hear from y'all way more than they want to hear from me. Because y'all are young and everybody looks at folks in my age bracket and go, you should be good by now. You're old. You know what I mean? Seriously.
But you have the experience,
Yeah.
So, and that's where I feel like, myself, Will, Rich, Brad, we've been doing this for several years now. It's time to really, pour it on the business, not only ourselves, but really pour it on with other people too, we're really excited to get that going. Hopefully bring on a ton of local agents, be able to help them out that way as well.
I have no doubt. And y'all, the personalities are so different. You got Will is Southern as they get, right? And then Rich is kind of just...
He's so put together.
Yeah, he is. I'm dude, at 26.
He's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then you're more of the, you seem the more happy, excited one.
Yeah.
And then Brad's just Brad. He's not, he's just
cool,
pretty even
calm,
keel.
relaxed.
Yeah, he's even keel. So between the four of you, I don't think there's many people you can't relate to.
No. And that's what's really great, and that's stuff that we've noticed as we brought on other people, is sometimes maybe I'll bring them on thinking it might be a great fit with me.
Right.
And, they click a little bit better with Rich or Will. And since we have such a great working relationship with one another, so it's so nice to be able to really kind of lean on them too and be like, hey, listen, like this person will do better for you. Because at the end of the day, we're all growing the same business together.
That's right.
We're all together. We're all trying to get to a common goal.
Right. Well, can you imagine if everybody did it like that when it was church? Like, and I don't even know if you realize how strong that is, because at that moment in time, you're going, this agent would do better with you. I'm removing all of the stuff, my expectations for myself, and going, my main focus is helping this agent.
Yeah. And it's, it's funny you say that, because I've never really been into a position like we have now. We're very fortunate. We're very blessed to be able to lean on one another like that and have, the trust, the communication, and know that everybody is responsible, and not only themselves, but making sure that, hey, listen, if I step up and help this agent, like I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that they can succeed, or as best as I possibly can.
Right.
So, it's really great being around them. We really all lift each other up, and I've never experienced that close, kind of a family dynamic with them before.
Well, and it's a lot of trust too, because you're not worried about getting screwed over. I'm giving up this to not get this, right?
It comes full circle. You got to kind of, I've heard a bunch of people say give up to go up. And I think in the right setting, that makes a lot of sense. And this is one of those settings where, if we're all helping each other out, who cares? Like, it's the agents, they're not anyone's possession. They're,
Amen.
We're a collective, and they're teammates and coworkers, and anything that I can do to put them in a better position to succeed, we're going to go ahead and do that.
Dude, that's awesome. It really is awesome.
Yeah,
like, you're wise beyond your years, because I wish that we could get the entire company to act that way.
Yeah, it definitely, I came from a previous company. It definitely, I had to learn. I've made so many mistakes along the way, but I'm glad I did, because I know the mistakes I made, one, I've personally learned from them. And then two, I'll make sure that I'll do my best that these agents don't follow down that same path.
Remember when you first started, that guy was harassing you from your old company?
Oh my God.
I hope he watches this, because
I hope so.
You remember what I said to you?
No.
You can't repeat it on there, but if you remember, don't repeat it, because it definitely was not appropriate. About that guy. Do you remember what I said?
Yeah.
I hope he's watching this. Because that's just, but you should hire his whole team.
Yeah, definitely. Have some things still going on there too, as well. And I never want to like wish ill upon anyone, but it's kind of like, I truly believe that, Family First Life, this was the best route for me to take next. I feel like I kind of came from like the minor leagues, and we're now in the major leagues.
That's right.
We're independent brokers. We're not captive. We don't have one company that we have to wait for like underwriting and all this stuff, running bait, switch leads. It's like, okay, wait, I can actually come here, do my job, and help families and get paid more than double of what my previous contract was.
Right.
It's insane.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're gonna get all those people for sure. If I'm brand new, what do you all do? How do you get a brand new agent started? What would you do with me if I was brand new?
If you were brand new, absolutely. So, my whole thing is because at first I kind of transitioned from like what I wanted them to do.
Yeah, we all did that.
And everyone's on their own path. You're going to have some people who are just, hey, listen, I am all in, no plan B. That's great. We love those people, and those people really thrive here. But we also have a bunch of people who are absolutely kicking butt part-time,
Sure.
And that's what their goals are. So the first thing I really do with a newer agent, figure out what their schedule is looking like, what they currently have going on, if they're working someplace else, if they're looking to just supplement with it, and what really their goals are, financial goals, family goals. Not everybody's the same. And I think once I realized that, pretty much over last year from recruiting, I was able to help these agents a lot better, because I was able to kind of really put myself in their shoes and understand why they're doing this and like what's their why. Because when you understand their why, you can then help them out tremendously better than, just kind of putting like your goals on them. And it's just, it might crush some people,
Sure. Sure. Well, I always say to people, like, you're letting people let you down.
Correct.
Because you're putting your expectations on them.
absolutely.
And it's hard. Like I did the same thing. I'm like, why isn't this person working? Well, they didn't want to do Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a fourth of that.
And it took me a while to understand that because I'm very intense. I'm very high energy. I'm very loud. You know, and you got to meet people where they want to be met at.
Correct.
You know, and as soon as I really figured that out, you know, they're no longer, I don't want to say scared of me, but like scared of the intensity. You know, and just because, I mean, Will, Rich, and I, like, we're running and gunning. It's full throttle all the time. And some people don't want that. And that's okay. And I think that they can still have a great spot and a great experience with us, you know, so it's really just figuring out where they want to be met at and what their goals are.
Well, and everybody's right where they're supposed to be.
Correct.
And timing's everything. So it's like, maybe it's not today, but it might be in 6 months.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And it's I remember the first couple months I came over here, it was a little intimidating because you would see the leaderboards, you know, helping 30 families, 40 families, 50 families. Even though I had been doing this for almost about 3 years prior to coming over here, my first 2 months, I think I helped less than like 10 families a piece. It was rough, you know? And once I kind of like got over that hump because I was all wrapped up in the product knowledge, which now I tell everyone, I'm like, don't even look at the products. I'm like, just all that I need you to know how to do is just dial the phone, dial the leads, keep track of dial tracker, and know how to log into the carriers. Everything else, I got you. Just have some trust.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so simple. And it's great when everybody comes full circle, though. Like, everybody's like, I used to ask you those questions. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, and again, I said this to Ron. I was like, you didn't trust me.
No.
And I'm not mad at it because especially after the guys treated you the way they treated you when you left the other company, like they should have, like grown men picking on a young, how old are you?
I was, I'm 26 now. I was 24.
So, yeah, grown men picking on a 24-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing. So,
it's
like,
weird.
you probably looked at me going, this is chill. This guy's probably the same as them, right?
Well, do you remember I called you, like, I think every day that week. I'm like, this is what's going on. And you're like, you got to trust me.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that takes
blind
time.
faith, you
blind
know?
faith.
You got to have it.
You do. And that's the other part of it's like, but if you don't, I can't be mad at you, right?
Yeah.
Because I think Family First Life is so different than every other company out there in that sense. Mm-hmm. Like when I give you advice, it's for you.
Exactly.
Where in every other situation in companies, when I give you advice, it's really for me.
Well, that's what I noticed too when I was really heavily looking into coming over here. Because I did talk to a couple different groups, but it was mainly, I went on YouTube. Everything was on YouTube. It was very transparent.
Right.
And unfortunately, I had experiences in the past where, you know, they would tell me to do one thing. It didn't work out the right way, or they said it was supposed to. And it kept on happening. And I'm like, I feel like I know nothing about this business. Everything's just, I don't want to say a lie, but I'm like, dang, you know? Yep. And I just really wanted that upfront transparency. Hey, listen, you do X, Y, Z. Like, either you got to keep on failing forward until you succeed, or you're just going to succeed just from hard work alone.
Sure.
So that's what I loved about kind of coming over here and really like just seeing that plastered everywhere as well.
Where'd you grow up? What area? Like
Northern
Northeast?
New Jersey.
Yeah, okay. I was just saying. Like, so when you met Will, was he freaked out?
Oh my gosh, I was freaked out. Because I met Rich and then moved down to North Carolina. And when I first met Will, he has such a thick accent and a thick drawl. I thought Rich had an accent.
And then you met Will.
And I'm like, can you say that again? So, yeah, but now we've since dubbed him the field cowboy since he's just, you know, running, gunning, slinging.
But he's got such a big heart. Like,
oh, my God.
You know what I mean? Like, he's so awesome. I love him.
He's
and
great.
every time I talk to him, he, like, makes me smile.
Yeah.
Because he's just always in such a good mood. He doesn't ever complain or moan. He's just, everything's always good for him.
Yeah, and that's what I love so much about being around, like, our group and with those guys especially, too, is, like, we're, you know, stuff does happen in the business. You know, stuff will not always go your way. We're never, if we're negative for a hot second, you know, kind of bringing it back. But like, I'm able to rely so heavily on them. It's kind of lift us all up. Like, we're all very much positive.
Right.
And, you know, the worst thing you can do if something bad happens to you is just kind of like crawl under a table and give up, which we won't do.
They won't let you. Or
no.
You won't let them.
No, absolutely.
That's the power of a team, and that's the power of being in an office.
Yeah.
Right?
Huge.
So y'all are recruiting. If I wanted to come work for you, how would I get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can text me directly. You know, should I give out?
Yeah, you give it out.
My phone number is 862-309-1665. Instagram, we have our Family First Life Unity page. Rich is on there, myself as well. Will, doesn't matter. We'll all be willing to work with everyone. So
I love that. Well,
yeah.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming up.
Thank
I greatly
you so
appreciate
much for having me.
Hall of Fame this year, I have no doubt, and a beast in the field. Just it's hard to get. I don't want to say I don't know a lot of females that have the directness as you do. Like Jamie's direct like you.
Yeah.
And it's you probably intimidate a lot of people to an extent, but you're not doing it intentionally. You just you got something to say, you want to say it.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't hold back.
You don't hold back.
Whether it's good or bad.
That's why you're so successful. So thank you so much for coming up. I
Thank
really
you
appreciate you
so much. I appreciate it.
Guys, until next time, make it a big week.